Now, if you have been longing to stock up on tariff-free Marmite, Stilton, or even a Rolls-Royce, we have some bad news. Trade talks between the UK and Canada have stalled. London said it was pausing negotiations today, and the next round of talks was due to start in just a few weeks. Evan Dyer is following this story as well. Evan, a busy day for you in Ottawa. The Rolls-Royce, did you write that in the lead? If you're
unfortunately, I think I'll never own a Rolls-Royce. So
me either. Yeah, so tell us about what's happening here in all seriousness.
Well, the free trade talks between Canada and the UK are, of course, a result of the UK's decision to leave the European Union, because Canada used to trade with the UK through its free trade arrangements with the European Union. And the British, ever since making that decision to leave the EU, have had to go out into the world and renegotiate free trade agreements that previously ran through the EU as now new bilateral UK free trade agreements. And they haven't been terribly successful in doing that. Since Brexit, they've really only been able to negotiate free trade agreements with two countries, Australia and New Zealand. They've been able to also extend existing arrangements that they had as a member of the EU informally with several other countries, like, for example, Mexico and South Korea. But in the long run, they know that they have to renegotiate and actually sign real treaties. And that was what they were trying to do with Canada for these last several years. This, of course, is a free trade deal that would presumably be mutually beneficial, as free trade is meant to be. It's meant to benefit both parties. So it's not insignificant for Canada. Canada trades about $11 billion a year with the UK, which would make it its fourth, perhaps fifth biggest trading partner. And it's still the biggest European trading partner for Canada, bigger than any of the members that remain in the EU, including Germany. So it is an important country for Canada. But at the same time, Canada is generally in a more privileged position as a free trading nation. It has more free trading arrangements than pretty much any other country in the world. So one would think that the British would be the ones who would be more in need of extending this, but that's not what we see. And in fact, we see a statement today from the British High Commissioner in Canada saying that Britain has taken this decision unilaterally. We have always said we will only negotiate trade deals that deliver for the British people, and we reserve the right to pause negotiations with any country if progress is not being made. We remain open to restarting talks with Canada in the future to build a stronger trade relationship that benefits businesses and consumers on both sides of the Atlantic. And it really does appear to be mostly about cheese, because Canada had negotiated a 3-year extension under which cheese would be exempt from tariffs in Canada. But the dairy industry has become a little weary of sometimes being the sort of the factor of adjustment in various trade deals, that it's accused the Canadian government in the past of giving away some of its market share in what is, after all, a very protected industry in Canada in order to secure trade deals with other countries. The Liberal government has really promised the Canadian dairy industry not to do that anymore. And so with this exemption running out, they weren't willing to extend it anymore, and this is the British response.
I'm just reading it. You probably haven't had a chance to read this yet, Evan. We just got a interview from the Minister, Mary Ng, on this. She said it was Britain who paused these negotiations. I'm reading the transcript, so apologies to Evan, because he's been getting busy he was busy getting ready for this. She says that Canada is a really important trading partner for Canada. They're the third single largest trading partner at $46 billion a year. And she has expressed that they're confident that they will be back at the table and encourage colleagues in the UK to get back to the table. So just something that just came in right now, Evan. So sorry, I didn't mean to throw that at you. Just wanted to get that out.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think these talks will continue. Will resume at some point. I mean, both countries have said that they have an intention to reach a deal at some point, and I think that it's best to see this as a fairly heavy-handed negotiating tactic rather than the real end of talks between Canada and the UK.
Yeah, fascinating. Thank you so much, Evan Dyer. Appreciate all your hard work today.
Thanks.